What's going on, Geeks? You're listening to episode 313 of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. My name is Cody Armour, and I'm here with Lj.Lowery.
What up?
Shelley is having her anniversary day, so happy anniversary to Shelley.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a different week this week because, not only because Shelley won't be here, but San Diego Comic-Con happened. There is so much to cover. So we are geeking out
exploding
about San Diego Comic-Con.
Yep.
We're just going to kind of jump right into it. Like I said, there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
And we're all pretty excited about it. It's one of those things where, like E3, it's almost a holiday for the geek community. And so I always love getting to see all the trailers and stuff. I do wish, we were talking about this on the podcast, before the podcast, I wish they streamed things like they would, like E3. That would be awesome. To kind of be there without being there. I'd even pay premium, honestly.
Especially the moments that happened there. Like, some of the stuff I was hearing on TikTok of, legit people that were invited there, it sounded, really powerful. So,
yeah.
I'm excited to talk about it.
That'd be cool. So we're just going to go back and forth here. We're going to be kind of all over the place, just talking about the different stuff that happened.
Yeah.
But in no particular order. LJ didn't pick what was his favorite. I didn't pick one of my favorite. We're just going to... we just have a list of things that we're geeking out about.
Yeah, we're going to see where this goes.
We're both geeking out about Marvel. It wouldn't be fair for
yeah.
I mean, it'd be like, oh, that's his, or it's mine.
Yeah.
Go ahead, LJ.
So, just to kind of get the gaming out of the way, not that we're going by usual format, but the one gaming thing I think everybody seemed excited about was that the Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection got an official release date, which is 30 some odd. I don't think it's 30. It's a lot though. It's a bunch of Ninja Turtles games across Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, a bunch of Ninja Turtles games. But we knew about it, but it finally got a release date, and I believe it's August 30th. And there's a ton of archived footage, archived stuff. There's stills from the show. There's old instruction manuals, concept art. It sounds like just a nice piece of TMNT history, and so that's coming out August 30th. I don't know if it's probably going to be $30-$40, I imagine. But that sounds like something, especially with Shredder's Revenge being so popular.
Right.
It's kind of neat that they saved this for Comic-Con, because it's the people are still hot off that. So I just want to get that out of the way and say the Cowabunga collection is coming.
Marketing genius.
Yep.
Yeah, that could be really cool.
Yeah.
I know a lot of those games are kind of a nostalgic place in my heart.
Yeah, there's even the one that's the original NES one that's notorious for being stupid hard. Mm-hmm. That it's been the product of kind of like the Lion King meme where it's my kid's not getting a PS5 until they finish this game. That's that for the Ninja Turtles NES thing. So that's going to be on there too.
Online co-op might be worth mentioning too.
Oh yes, online co-op stuff.
Pretty cool.
They'll probably rewind features and stuff like that.
cool
Plenty to
stuff.
make games accessible.
Yeah. Sweet.
Mm-hmm. That's all I got. That's all, that's kind of the only gaming thing that was really that big at SDCC. So
right.
We can move on to the good stuff.
Well, since we're talking about gaming, we can talk about some tabletop gaming in a way. There's Dungeons and Dragons movie coming out, which I think I kind of knew that was happening, but I didn't. I guess I didn't realize what, this looks higher quality than I thought it would.
So they officially announced it, I think, we knew it was coming out and we knew it was in production, but there was rumors that they were going to be showing stuff. There was a whole booth and experience they had, and so they showed character images on a screen outside the booth, which everybody's they had their classes and everything, their little symbols by their names and stuff, and then we got the trailer, which looks super fun.
Yeah, I wish we could get Shelley's input on this, but the CGI looks really well done. For whatever reason, I just thought of this old '80s movie when I heard Dungeons and Dragons, maybe because of the '80s. Yeah. I just thought it was going to be really bad for some reason.
But, so that's what I like though, is they're embracing campiness and cheesiness. The way it is.
In a great way.
Yeah, the way I've heard it described, which I guess there's no better way to describe it, but everybody's calling it it's D&D Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm okay. I'm I don't have an argument there.
It feels a lot like an actual party, which is good. It's got kind of the quirkiness and weirdness of this is I love that they have American accents because they're
yeah.
just players playing a game in a way. It reminds me a little bit of Vox Machina in its goofiness. For those who haven't watched Vox Machina, just fair warning, it's very rated R. I think it's PG-13.
That's what I wanted out of Vox Machina. I wanted it to be goofy and dumb, but it like went way too hard in one direction for me.
Yeah. I'm excited about this. I think it's really staying true to what Dungeons & Dragons is and has become.
So much fan service too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of references.
A lot of goofiness. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's... I don't know how well it's going to do. I don't know if the movie's going to be any good or not, but I think that at the very least they are being loyal to the material in a really cool way.
It's going to be fun. Like they know, like they're not trying to make it like the next Game of Thrones or next Lord of the Rings. Like they're
super
playing,
serious.
They're playing into the gaminess of it, and like I was surprised about like certain actors too. I was surprised like Hugh Grant is in it. I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like that dude hasn't been in anything in a long time. Like,
I hope they all played Dungeons and Dragons before.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure you have to for your research, I would think.
I love that Michelle Rodriguez plays the barbarian. That is so perfect.
Yeah.
For her.
I would have loved. Yes. I know people are kind of tired of Vin Diesel, but Vin Diesel and then the guy that played Deathstroke. They're big D&D nerds.
Yeah.
So I hope they at least get cameos or something. Just because they're such big Dungeons & Dragons fans. Mm-hmm. I would love that part of Hollywood would get to like at least play a part. Maybe Chris Pine is. I really don't know.
Yeah, Chris Pine. Yeah, I don't know.
A bard leading the party is amazing. Also,
that's a little funny, but also like I think it's great.
So perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can keep going, LJ.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. All right, so the next thing we have. So I guess we'll go. I'm gonna skip DC for a minute because we got a lot there. I want to talk about John Wick real quick, just because I was stoked that there's a new trailer. Mm-hmm. But I'm like at the same time, like it just looks like more John Wick, which is amazing anyway. Like it's gonna be just crazy over the top action.
Like even the way he's delivering his lines just feels very John Wick.
Yes.
They're like, "Are you ready?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I love it when he's like, "Are you ready, John?" And he's got the suit jacket, and I'm like, "Yes, I'm ready." What are you talking about? Is John ready? I'm ready. Like,
so perfect.
Yeah, and it's just more John Wick, and I'm okay with that. I wanted to get that out of the way.
Yeah, no worries.
Because it's not really like, there's nothing really like mind blowing there. So, yeah,
right.
I'm excited for John Wick.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess I'll move into DC. We've got a few different trailers. We got moving on to TV a little bit. We have Sandman, which is the Netflix DC thing. That's not part of the DC EU in any way. Sandman looks good. I don't know much about Sandman, so I'm kind of like, I know a lot of people are really excited about it. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that I'll watch it if the hype is there, because that's usually what I follow is the hype. But
like I said, like I listened to the audiobook, and the audiobook was amazing. It was really good, and there was plenty of DC references there in the book, but I don't think there will be in the show. But if that book and those comics are as good as they say they are, I hope this show is just as good.
Cool.
That's kind of my only thoughts on it. And
then in the DCEU, we do have a Black Adam trailer, which we kind of figured that would happen. And then we got a pretty good Shazam trailer as well. Definitely more excited for Shazam than Black Adam, which is weird because I love Dwayne Johnson.
What does he say when he's like, what does he say? He's like he's living his best life or his best day of his life or something. Whenever he like, I forget. It was.
I just watched
that
it too.
That line that his line delivery was so funny. It's just like, I'm like, this is what I love about Shazam.
Yes.
They're also playing into the silliness there too, which I think is perfect because he's still a kid, like.
Right.
And I think I love that they're playing into that.
Yeah. You may be old. Definitely feels very much like he's a kid. One thing that I thought was really interesting with this trailer was that they, I mean, it's not new footage, but they showed The Flash, they showed Batman, and Aquaman. So they are insinuating, I guess I'm just still confused at what the DCEU is. Like, what... I don't know their plan. I think it was really interesting that we didn't get anything else about The Flash since we did last year, and I know there's a lot of stuff going on with Ezra Miller. They're trying to kind of keep quiet about that, but DC, I feel like, really kind of they kept their cards really close to their vest this year. And I don't know if that maybe they don't know what's going on or they don't have a plan yet, but to reveal that Batman is still in this universe and that it's Ben Affleck's Batman, I thought was kind of a weird choice. And we saw spoilers, I guess, for Peacemaker, which has been out almost a year now, right?
Yeah.
Justice League is at the very end of that, minus some characters. And so I guess they're really trying to push that forward, but I don't know we didn't even get anything for Aquaman, now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh, and see, so that's where I think Warner Brothers is trying to,
they need to hire better, less controversial actors.
Yeah, because, Amber Heard and Ezra Miller are both oh man, there's another thing I could say that would be hilarious, but I'm not going to. But they totally, so I guess they figured, let's just not talk about those things.
Yeah.
They swept it under the rug.
I would have been more okay with that, and I kind of understand that. I would have liked to see more of a long-term plan. But maybe they don't have a long-term plan yet. They've got these two Shazam movies. That's what Black Adam is, in essence. And they're maybe just going to go from there. But I would have loved it maybe a little bit more about Batman, too. Was that ever greenlit? I think it was greenlit.
I think they said it's in production or in it's in its very early stages. I don't even know if they've started writing it yet.
And they don't have to showcase anything, but Kevin Feige has been talking the entire weekend about way more than what was shown. And so I think just little things like that where we could have. Marvel's literally able to show us a logo, and we're like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
DC can't even show us logos at this point.
Yeah, and I feel bad for DC because there is some stuff like Shazam and Peacemaker and the Harley Quinn show, which is dropping this week. There are some genuinely good things that they've done, but I'm just they got to do something because even Marvel, we were saying the same thing about Marvel a few weeks ago. I don't know what they're gonna do. What are they gonna do?
Right.
It's
they let it go.
Yeah, and what we've been saying about that, we've been DC has been on that topic for longer.
Yeah,
and I think
I'm sure we'll get a DC fandom, whatever it was called, in September, November, between September and November. And
did we get one this summer?
When?
Did we get one? Oh, we didn't get one this summer. That's right.
Not this summer. I think it was in the fall last year.
Oh, you're right.
It was the year before that was the big pandemic stuff.
Yes.
And it was crazy that year. And then this last year, it was also kind of meh. There was some cool stuff, but it wasn't huge. We didn't even get anything about Titans, and I think that's kind of crazy. Because I think that's wrapped filming. So I would assume that they're going to have that maybe in September, and they'll show a lot more then.
That's right, because last fandom was when we got more about Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad, the games and stuff like that.
Yeah. We literally had, Harley Quinn comes out later this month. No, does it?
Nick, this week.
Yeah, and we didn't get anything about Harley Quinn during Comic-Con. It doesn't make sense to me.
I think they did a showing of an episode or something at the event.
Yeah.
But that's
and then LJ, I'll let you lead the Avengers. I'm gonna get into the fantasy stuff first.
Okay, go for it.
So there are a few different things. Fantasy is kind of taken over. Someone else brought this to my attention, and I think it's interesting that every big cable company is trying to find the next Game of Thrones, and they really are. So you've got literally Game of Thrones, the House of Dragon trailer that came out with HBO, which looks good. It looks like more Game of Thrones, and I don't think that's absolutely terrible. Matt Smith actually looks okay. I'm understanding his character a little bit. I thought he looked kind of funny in the game. Whenever I see Matt Smith, I just I see the Doctor in cosplay. It looks like he's just dressing up to play something else. And so I don't know. I think it looks more like Game of Thrones, and I think that might not be a bad thing if the viewers can forgive them for that season finale.
Yeah.
So we'll see there. Lord of the Rings. We got the Rings of Power, and that trailer really sold me. I think the last one I talked about, I was I don't know. It just doesn't seem like the writing was on par, and the acting from what I had seen so far was kind of.
We had the discussion about the Hobbits too. We just discussed a lot of this pretty recent.
Yeah, I think it was literally our last podcast.
Yeah,
so I'm surprised. This is what I'm saying. We've got 2 Lord of the Rings trailers in 2 weeks, and we didn't get anything for Titans, or I don't know what DC's doing. Anyways, we're moved on. This looks like Lord of the Rings in a lot of cool ways, and the acting felt, maybe it was just the music behind it, but it felt a little bit more emotionally driven, and I cared about the characters a little bit more than I did the last trailer that we saw. So maybe that was on purpose. Maybe they had that trailer and like, well, we have it, we might as well put it out. And they're like, we'll put the good trailer out for Comic-Con.
Because didn't they actually call that previous trailer a teaser trailer?
Yeah, they did.
So that makes sense, I guess.
I would definitely, if you were on the fence about Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, check this out, this trailer, and kind of maybe make a decision from there.
I do need to watch that trailer, because I figured, second trailer, it's alright, I don't need to watch it right away.
Yeah, probably no new information, and there was a little
But I will, as soon as we get done tonight, I'm going to go watch it.
Definitely. Good stuff. And that's Amazon Prime, obviously, we've talked about that before. And then the thing that I'm most excited for is Disney Plus getting in on the action, and they have announced an Aragon TV show.
I don't even know if
realized there was something we didn't put in the notes that we need to.
But honestly, I don't even know if that was SDCC. That was just like bonus points right there.
Yeah. Oh, was it not?
Like,
I thought it was an SDCC thing.
That was today.
Oh man. Okay. Well, that's fine.
Unless they actually mentioned SDCC, but
I was getting ahead of myself. Should be talking about that next week. But
it's fine though. Like that's why I call it bonus points, because it's that's like you said, everybody's trying to get their Game of Thrones, their fantasy thing.
Yeah, I love the Aragon book series. I've been talking on the podcast ever since we started the podcast that I needed that movie remade in some way.
We probably literally talked about that last week too. I think we just kind of willed that into existence.
Yeah. So that's funny. Disney Plus. I don't know. I trust Marvel. And I trust Star Wars, so I'm hoping I can trust Disney with an Aragon series, and that it won't be too much of a Percy Jackson situation. Although Percy Jackson looks kind of cool too, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think Percy Jackson's more like technically like modern setting too, isn't it?
Yeah, I just don't want it to be too childish. Is kind of my worry with Aragon. It doesn't need to be a Game of Thrones, but I hope that it is a. Same set as like Moon Knight or something. I hope they're putting a budget behind it. I hope the writing is good.
So
I hope they don't shoot out on actors or special effects.
Yeah, Variety broke out this news today. It was an exclusive news drop.
No, whoops.
Yep. No, it's cool though. Like that's why I call it bonus points, because
I added something else in that might be bonus points too. Then
okay.
This might not have been announced at SDCC. Avatar.
That might have been because I think we did get that news this weekend.
Okay, cool. Kind of fantasy. We'll go with it.
I love how they worded it gang, like
yeah,
on the IGN thing.
Gang. The boomerang. Anyways, we got more news about Avatar movie. I don't think we got a release date or anything, but there was rumored that it was going to be a Kyoshi Warriors movie, and I believe they're making 2 movies, so I wouldn't say that Kyoshi's canceled. But the first movie that they will be releasing
they're supposed to be making 3, I think.
Is what?
They're supposed to be making 3.
Oh, I mean, that might be. This movie will be about the boomerang, in their early adulthood. And that's all I need to know. I'm sold. I will watch that movie. You can put it in theaters. You could double the price of theater tickets. I will be there.
There's a lot of years in between that, where it ended and where the show ended in Korra.
Yeah.
So it's like and then they even said that because I guess there's comics about this time period, and they said nope, it's not even going to be based on the comics. It's going to be its own news story.
That's awesome. I'm so sold for it.
Yep.
It just sounds great, and I need more. I do want to say I want to take it back. I will not pay double. I will, but I don't want to will that into existence.
I mean, you can already pay $20 to watch movies at home these days.
It's true. Yeah, I will be seeing this in theaters.
You know what, though? Did they say it was going to be in theaters? Because we got Paramount Plus. That's a thing.
Yeah, there we go.
It might go straight to Paramount Plus, which I still have for some reason.
Right. And that will be animated. I should put that out there. And it'll be a movie
theater
and a
release
show.
Would be amazing, though. I'll tell you that much.
But all right, we have so much Marvel stuff. We'll go ahead and get into it, LJ.
All right.
I think you got the phases kind of figured out better than I do.
Yeah, so I spend too much time on TikTok as well. So I got a lot of extra info from TikTok. And people that are... So the problem is TikTok can be a huge echo chamber of people just wanting to report news for clicks. Mm-hmm. But there are maybe like 2 to 3 people I follow on TikTok that genuinely are big enough, well-known enough, and educated enough on this stuff to where they get invited to the Oscars and to Comic-Cons and stuff like, everything now. Like, so they're like legit. And I was reading also about this, and during the event, Kevin Feige and a bunch of other folks a part of this whole thing, they introduced phase 4, 5, and 6.
Yes.
And so I think we're actually in phase 4. So
all the other phases have had an Avengers movie, right? Phase 1 had Avengers 1, phase 2 Age of Ultron.
I don't know, to be honest.
I believe so, and then 3 would have been, obviously Endgame.
Yeah, so they did announce this as the Multiverse Saga, is what they announced it as. Yes. Which is kind of makes sense, because it's like, we called the previous one the Infinity Saga. So the timeline goes as follows. Actually, before I get to the new timeline, they say that She-Hulk and Wakanda Forever are going to be the last pieces of Phase 4. Which,
cool.
Phase 4 has not been just this year, and I forget about that. Phase 4 started with...
Black Widow?
Spider-Man, actually.
Spider-Man? Okay.
Yeah, so, what is it, Far From Home? So many hometowns.
Oh, yeah. No, it ended with that.
Oh, that's true. I guess it did end with that.
Which is a weird way to end it. Yeah.
Yeah, because then Black Widow... I think Black Widow and, like, Shang-Chi were, like, the first... Mm-hmm. movies to actually come out after that, and so we got a massive delay. We got a massive delay because of COVID. So the first parts of the Phase 5 are supposed to be Ant-Man Quantumania, which Ant-Man is set to premiere February 17th, 2023, which doesn't feel far away. Crazy.
Yeah.
Secret Invasion, which is Skrull stuff, that's spring 2023. And then, so we got Guardians May 5th, 2023, which is pretty crazy. And they've said that that's going to be like they're sunsetting that team, and it's supposed to be based on, a big part of it is going to be Rocket's origins.
Which is cool. I'm glad they've been teasing that the entire time.
Yep. And then, so we get into some even more interesting stuff with Echo, which we knew Echo was coming. So that's supposed to come summer. Loki Season 2 is also summer 2023. 2
shows. That's kind of crazy.
Then we get The Marvels, which is July 28th. Which we already know, after seeing Miss Marvel, we already know what to expect from that a little bit. Mm-hmm. The thing that tripped me out is Blade. Blade is supposed to come out in November 3rd, 2023.
I feel like that was announced so long ago, but I'm glad we finally have a release date.
But also, it feels like it still felt like it was really far away, and that doesn't feel far away to me.
Yeah, a year.
I mean, that's still, yeah. And then we get Ironheart, which... I'll talk about. We can talk about the Wakanda trailer in a bit, but Ironheart is set to premiere fall 2023. Then we get Agatha. We get
All Along.
Yeah, I was just almost out of habit. I said that. Agatha: Coven of Chaos, which is set for winter 2023/2024, which I guess that's like probably December, January somewhere. Then the big thing we got right here is that Daredevil Born Again, which I absolutely love that it's called Born Again, not only because it is the title of a comic, but it's just like, I love how that's the spirit, they're tapping into a bit of the spiritualness of, Daredevil's Catholicism there. Like,
I do think it's interesting. I saw something mention that season 3 of Daredevil was heavily inspired by the Born Again series of comics.
It was, because I actually reviewed the comic on our website before the season 3 came out.
Oh, cool. So
yeah,
it's gonna be weird that it's treading the similar waters. But maybe it's just the name. Kind of like Homecoming was kind of a double meaning.
Yep. And I do want to add that this is ridiculous. I don't know how they're going to do this, but apparently it's supposed to be 18 episodes.
Yes, I'm concerned. 18 episodes tells me that it's going to be a 30-minute show.
Yeah, which I might be okay with too. But also, I wonder how many they're going to release at once, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And maybe they're learning. Hopefully, they're learning from their short, runtime or their short episode counts too. So
yeah, I would be down with a three mid or 2 mid seasons, I guess. So you'd have 3 thirds of seasons come out, and then
kind of like a Voltron thing, or kind of like what Netflix has done.
Yeah, I really like Netflix when they do that.
Release
with Voltron.
Parts of them.
It would be 8 episodes, and then you literally have to wait a month, and then you get another 8 episodes.
Yep.
That would be a super cool way to do that.
Yeah. So I'm excited because it's they're really going hard on Daredevil, which we'll talk about a little bit later too.
Yeah, I mean we could kind of throw that in there. Obviously he's going to be an Echo. We've seen that.
Echo.
We'll talk
mentioned
about She-Hulk a little bit later.
Yep.
But he's definitely at least going to make an appearance.
Yes.
That seems to be what everyone's actually talking about when it comes to.
The suit looks amazing too. Anyway.
The She-Hulk episode or trailer. Yeah, we'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah. Yep. And then it's the topic of a bunch of memes right now, but Captain America: New World Order is the newest Captain America movie, and everybody's like, "Oh, Captain America's fighting the NWO from wrestling." That's a funny one.
I do assume that's a comic book title as well, but I'm not sure.
It possibly is. It wouldn't surprise me. So this is all, like I said before, this is all Phase 5 stuff, and what trips me out here is that on July 20... Oh, so I did say May 3rd for Captain America. July 26, 2024, is they're capping off Phase 5 with the Thunderbolts.
Yes.
Which tells me Thunderbolts are going to make something pop off, or something big is going to happen that caused by the Thunderbolts. That's
I could see, in a way, kind of a Guardians of the Galaxy situation where they maybe mess something up that they shouldn't, or a Loki situation where they just kind of they save the world, but in saving the world completely wreck chaos.
Yeah, because they're like the Suicide Squad kind of Marvel.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way everybody's describing this as, just to kind of help people understand. But I think it's neat that they're capping off that phase. And then so after that will be Phase 6, and they have said that Fantastic Four, and they also announced 2 Avengers titles, which were Avengers Secret Wars and Avengers Kang Dynasty.
Which Secret Wars is ran by Kang as well, right? Is that connected?
So no. That's like a whole... Well, I'm sure this will all be connected as far as MCU goes, but Secret Wars is actually the original comic storyline where Spidey gets his symbiote suit. That's the classic cover.
Okay.
So Secret Wars is like a whole battle world situation where a bunch of multiverses come together and just and it's just all out war basically.
I thought Kang was the one that organized
all
that.
Well,
maybe
like the newer Secret Wars. Sorry, maybe the newer, because they did do a Secret Wars 2, which involved Falcon, which involved Captain Falcon. I'm just gonna say, I know Jane Foster's Thor, Falcon, and Miles. I think Morales were a big part of that second Secret War.
Maybe Doctor Doom. I might be wrong.
Yeah, so there's a lot. There's still a lot there though. And so I know people have been expecting Battle World stuff, and so I imagine that's what Secret Wars is going to be. And so Kang Dynasty tells me they're losing in Secret Wars. But yeah, that's kind of the big. That's kind of the big thing there.
Yeah. Some cool stuff, for sure.
Yeah, so then we got I guess we'll move into the trailers now. We did get the Wakanda Forever trailer. And that was huge. We saw Namor for the first time, which I'm so excited for Namor. Namor is one of the original Marvel heroes. Like, and he's not even a hero most of the time. He's more of like he's very much like an Aquaman. Like, oh, I'm here for my.
I was saying Marvel's Aquaman.
Yeah, well, I think Namor maybe came first, but I'm not gonna like fact check that.
Yeah,
but
probably.
He's more of a like, no, I'm fighting for my people kind of thing, kind of like Black Panther,
right.
You know, which is why the ideals of these two, you know, empires, countries colliding is crazy, but also, you know, they pay a tribute to Chadwick, which, like you said earlier, it also feels kind of like dirty that they're like kind of targeting that, but also it's kind of
that was off air. Watching the trailer, there's no way they couldn't do this and ignore Chadwick, and I don't think that I'm not saying that Chadwick wouldn't want them to move forward. Of course he would, and it just like because of that and because it's an industry, like you have to make money off of it. It just seems so weird, weird to celebrate someone's passing. Be like, give me money for this. But because I mean, he's gonna make so much money off of his death. But I also think that what it stands for and everything and how much it meant to Chadwick, obviously he wouldn't want them to not do it because of that.
Yeah. So that's
it just seems odd to commercialize it.
Like somebody in our Marvel spoiler chat was like, "Oh my gosh, that was emotional. Like I want to cry." And I'm like, "Yes, that's what the trailer was designed to do." You know, like it was meant to, and which it's powerful. You know, it really is. And I mean, everybody knows, like, you know, everybody's seen this trailer at the end how they show the Black Panther, and they don't say who it is, but obviously it looks female. Like it looks like it's got the build of a female, which.
But I'm thinking it's Shuri, and it didn't really look like Shuri, so I don't know.
It could. See, they didn't show Nakia either, so it could be Lupe Nyong'o. It won't be.
Shuri's pretty thin, and she didn't look. Yeah, it didn't look like a thin Black Panther.
It won't. I want it to be Okoye, but it probably won't be because her duty to the Dora Milaje. I would love if it was her though. That'd be so awesome. And it's definitely not M'Baku because the homeboy's ripped.
It's interesting. I kind of love that they didn't show us. I'm sure they will, but I kind of hope they don't show us until
the movie.
We watch the movie.
Yes,
because we're not going to watch it anyways. That would be cool.
But I mean, they've also said Letitia Wright got injured on set and she doing stunts and things like that. So it's like she's got to be doing some big stuff if she's getting injured on set like that. But the Iron
Heart reference was a little on the nose.
Yes, yeah. Riri Williams is there. She might be the new Shuri if Shuri's the Black Panther. She might be right.
She literally, I'm sure you all listeners have seen the trailer, but like beats out an iron heart, like a heart shape out of a piece of iron, and I was like, "You're not using that for your suit. You all got nanotech now."
Yeah,
it made no sense.
Yeah, and then
but it's cool.
What really sticks out to me about that trailer is I wish, and like you said, I wish they would have live streamed it because. According to people like Stryat Goofy on TikTok, that it was so powerful and emotional, because like Ryan Coogler talked about how like when he and Chadwick watched Black Panther, like they joked how he had big hands and he had his hand on his shoulder, and when they watched the trailer or when they watched the first movie, and then he said that as he was watching that trailer and showing people as the performance was happening, he said it felt like Chadwick had his hand on his shoulder, and I was like. It gave me chills because that's so spiritual.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
And I'm just like, that's so awesome. And I think it's going to be good. I'm excited for it. It's going to be a big event. And I'm glad they're capping off that phase with that movie. I guess the other thing, I don't know. I mean, we've already kind of mentioned it, but there was a new trailer for She-Hulk.
Yes.
That featured Daredevil.
That's good to me.
Yeah.
I was excited with it before the Daredevil stinger at the end.
Did the CGI look a little bit better to you? Because I feel like it looked a little bit better to me. At least the shots.
I guess so. I didn't think it looked that bad the first time. I know everyone was talking about how rough it was.
Same.
I didn't think it looked that different, I guess, in this, but I wasn't mad at it in the beginning.
True.
It's TV CGI, and so for TV CGI, I'm like, wow, that looks really great.
Yeah.
I know it needs to be on par with the movies, but I don't know. I just didn't think it looked bad to begin with, but it didn't look better now to me.
Okay. I mean, to me at least, I was like, oh, like it doesn't. Not that I thought it looked bad either, but it just didn't seem like there was anything for people to get nitpicky about as far as like the scenes they showed.
Yeah. She definitely looks CGI. Like, she doesn't look real by any means.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe I'm just watching enough Marvel that I'm fine with that.
Yeah. That's it for like the phases and stuff. I know we got a bunch of animated stuff too. If you want to get into the animated stuff.
Yeah, lots of stuff from Marvel Animated. When I saw that, I didn't think it would be connected to the MCU at all. The first one's not. First one here, I guess. X-Men 97 is a continuation of the 90s X-Men series. I was reading up on this a little bit. I maybe need to go watch the show again. It's been so long. But apparently, something happened to Xavier at the end of it, and so they recruit Magneto to run the school. And
that's a trip.
Yeah, so this will be kind of a continuation of that, of Magneto running the school. After Magneto was kind of right, Xavier is kind of like, there's not a non-mutant who hates mutants that goes after Xavier, kind of proving Magneto's whole thesis correct.
Yep.
And why he does all the evil stuff that he does. So I'm curious how that's all going to work. If maybe like the X-Men will kind of make him good, or if he's going to turn the X-Men bad. I really don't know.
Dude,
I can't imagine Disney allowing Magneto to be evil forever.
Honestly, in a lot of the comic stuff I read, the X-Men and the Avengers and like all the basic superheroes, they're not always homies. I mean, we literally had Avengers versus X-Men. Like, so the X-Men are like their own thing a lot of the times. So I can see them
definitely
in a future phase being like some kind of foil or some kind of like like a Thunderbolts kind of thing, maybe. You know, they're gonna be this other team, I think.
A cool thing with this, like I said, this isn't necessarily part of the MCU technically.
Yeah.
But we did get confirmation from Feige that it's in the trailers. I can talk about it. Xavier in Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, is the 90s X-Men Xavier.
Oh, yeah.
So, technically not part of the MCU, but also in a weird way because of the multiverse, he is part of the MCU. And in that sense, anything ever made with Marvel is MCU related because of that.
Yep, it feels like
especially in the next couple of phases. Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
Yep.
And then, like you said, this is the phase of Daredevil. We've got Spider-Man freshman year, which is about Spider-Man's freshman year of high school, right?
Well, so that's where people are confused. Because it was supposed to be. But now, when you have villains that they showed, like, as far as, like, stills and, like, art, there's Scorpion, Dr. Octavius, and, like, these other villains and these other suits that he's apparently going to have. That have people curious. Because it might as well be from a different universe at this point.
That could be. This article is saying that it will be his first year.
That's so weird.
Freshman year of high school. College would make more sense, so I don't know if maybe they'll change that up.
I really hope it is. I mean, or even
this is part of the MCU. It is made by Marvel Studios.
Yeah.
And Daredevil is going to be Charlie Cox's Daredevil will be appearing in Spider-Man freshman year.
Yep.
I bet he is voicing him, but that's really curious that he will be voicing him.
No, he is. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Apparently Charlie Cox is 100% on board with
I love
being
it.
Daredevil.
I'm so happy.
Kind of along with that, this isn't really news that came out of anything, but Feige has confirmed that Spider-Man and Daredevil are going to be the leaders of street-level superheroes. And hearing the word leaders, I'm assuming that my thesis has been on all of this is that they're working on different teams, not just an Avengers team, and then we're going to get things like the Thunderbolts, a lot more things like the Thunderbolts pretty soon. And I'm assuming that maybe this is the beginning of another Defenders situation.
Yeah, because like on Disney Plus, they call the Netflix stuff the Defenders Saga or whatever. Like the Defenders, they have it labeled. So I'm wondering if they're gonna like redo that kind of thing.
I could see it. I think you get some more street level shows or movies, and then
get Moon Knight in there.
Yeah. Punisher. They might. I mean, I've heard that Jessica Jones might be returning. That Daredevil show. And so, I mean, maybe they're just talking about animated, but I could see Daredevil and Spider-Man kind of running a street-level team, and that would be cool. I'd watch that movie for sure.
Yeah.
I'd love the next Spider-Man movie to be like a really ground-level, street-level movie that's really grounded.
I think we need to get back to that point with Spider-Man.
Yeah, and be a team up movie though. With all these other people, it'd be really cool.
Team ups are like what are a big thing for Spider-Man as well, so I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure. A couple other things. We have Marvel Zombies, which if you see Marvel What If, you know what the Marvel Zombies thing is about. Yep. I believe it's the same exact studio artist and everything. So that's cool. It's just the universe where Marvel Zombies exist. I guess not technically part of the MCU in that universe, but again, is tied into the MCU in some way because Marvel is just doing everything crazy now. Everything's connected. So that'll be fun. They're talking about, I don't remember the heroes that were going to be part of it, but it'll basically be heroes versus Marvel zombie things. And you all know that I'm a Walking Dead fan. I'm excited about that as well. We did get a Walking Dead trailer, by the way, just not worth really mentioning.
What if season 2 is a thing also while we're there?
Yes, What If season 2 and season 3 is in the works.
That's weird. I didn't know they were going to go that hard.
I believe the What If season 2 trailer was released at San Diego Comic-Con. We didn't get it. It wasn't released to the public.
I think they did say like what some of the episodes are going to be about.
That might be all we got.
I think one of them was like, what if Captain Carter meets Winter Soldier, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yep.
One's with Hela, whatever.
Oh yeah, Hela, yes.
It's cool. Probably the most exciting thing that coming out of this animation stuff though is they're gonna be shorts. I want a whole show. My wife wanted a movie, but it is I Am Groot. They're 10 shorts. They look adorable. Yep. Groot looks like baby Groot.
The CGI and animation looks actually amazing on that too.
Yes.
It really
it
good.
doesn't. It almost doesn't look like CGI at first when you're looking at it. The surroundings and the terrain and stuff, but definitely a CGI. But it'll be on alien planets, so it's totally fine, totally cool.
Yep.
It looked like Baby Groot from the movies from Guardians. So that is everything.
Yeah.
We have a 44-minute podcast. That's not too bad. 45-minute podcast. I was like, I didn't know what the time was going to be on this. We didn't geek out about anything else this week.
No,
we were just kind of excited about San Diego Comic-Con. LJ, what would you say is probably the most exciting thing for you?
Oh, I mean, I guess Daredevil stuff. I feel like that's the easy answer, though.
Yeah.
I think maybe more so, I think as far as the shows go, X-Men 97 for me. Because I'm like, I just have no idea, like, what, like that to me, that's more of the unknown for me.
Right.
Which they said they have fixed. I guess there was issues with episode order on Disney Plus for the original cartoon. But apparently I heard they fixed that. So now if you go watch it now, it's all proper. So, yeah.
Cool. I think for me, I'm a huge Marvel nerd. And so I'm pretty excited about anything Marvel going on. More Avengers movies and stuff sounds really cool. Phase 5, I was kind of like, it's cool. But Phase 6 sounds... I'm so excited for everything to come out.
And for me, I think it's just, I'm so happy that the narrative is kind of changed. Because everybody was like, all right, Marvel, what are you doing? Like, because this last year has been kind of like middling for a lot of people. And so it's like, all right, what are you guys doing? And then Kevin Feige comes up and goes, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, we got it. We have a plan. Feige is amazing at what he does.
And
for sure.
I bet, I've heard rumors that I think D23, they're going to have some stuff still. Hopefully the rumor gets fulfilled that they'll announce the cast for Fantastic Four. I think there's still plenty of time to where they could do that, so it might be too early, but I hope that's what they do at D23, to be like, all right, we showed you everything else, now here's this.
Yeah, well, that'd be cool. I will say, we don't need to get into letdowns too badly, but DC, I'm just really curious what they're doing. I know they're kind of in a limbo right now. I just want to see more from them. Hopefully we get to.
Yeah, I do too.
Do that.
My hope for DC is that, I don't know if I've said this on the show or not, but if Black Adam does well enough, maybe DC will look at this Justice Society group and be like, hey, maybe those are our new Justice League that doesn't have to be the Justice League. I think that would be cool.
Yeah. DC's got to figure their stuff out. Hopefully they do so soon. No more controversies. Stop letting people poop on your pillow. Pillow be in the movies, obviously.
That's what I was gonna say earlier. I was gonna say they really crap the bed.
We'll end the podcast there.
Okay.
We're terrible. We need Shelley. Write us in.
I'm glad we saved that. I'm glad we saved that for last, because that's probably the spiciest we've ever gotten on this show.
Yeah. We don't have opinions. LJ, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at LJ the Paladin, and streaming on our Twitch channel on Friday nights, twitch.tv/Geeks Under Grace.
And you can always find me on Instagram. Yeah. Exciting stuff. Good time to be a nerd. Mm-hmm. Be a geek. Keep praying. Keep gaming. And God bless. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. We love hearing from you, so feel free to ask us questions or just comment on the show by using the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter, or by joining the GUGcast questions channel in the Geeks Under Grace Discord. If you like this episode, consider leaving a review or rating of our show on your favorite podcast app. If you want even more Geeks Under Grace, you can always go to geeksundergrace.com. We love you all so much, so thank you for listening.